put it to people is that I think of anger as being the royal road to self-improvement. Because
Yeah.
the more people talk about self-improvement today, the more they're usually neglecting anger. Like you said right at the beginning, like people don't think pro-social attitudes have got a role in stoicism.
Yeah.
That sounds more like like Thrasymachus and some of the sophists were saying. Like the Stoics, geez man, like Seneca wrote an entire book about overcoming anger and replacing it with pro-social
Right.
attitudes. The Stoics thought anger, of those three emotions that I mentioned, was the main one that we need to deal with. And so that, in a sense, that's different from modern psychotherapy, where it's relatively neglected. Like they thought, no, it's anger that's the kind of like the big ticket item here.
Mm-hmm.
And Marcus Aurelius, not only does Seneca talk about it, but I would say that the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius, to a large extent, contains a lot of different stuff, but to a large extent, it can be viewed, as I kind of alluded to earlier, as his attempt to overcome his own anger.
Yeah.
Because he says, how do we know Marcus Aurelius was angry? Because he says so at the beginning of the book. Like, he says in black and white, like in book 1 of the Meditations, that he had problems controlling his own temper,
Mm-hmm.
and that he thanks the gods that he never did anything that he might have regretted afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, and he says also that the person he got most angry with was Junius Rusticus, his Stoic mentor, and the guy that introduced him to Stoic psychotherapy. He even uses the word therapia. He says Rusticus persuaded him that he needed therapy from based on Stoic principles. What would that look like? I guess it would look pretty similar to Seneca's On Anger, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That is a book about Stoic therapy for anger. So then having said that, like I say, later in the book, Marcus draws up this bullet point list of 10 separate coping strategies for dealing with anger based on Stoicism. So, I think what Marcus is doing in a sense is opposite of some of these modern self-improvement gurus who neglect anger or implicitly encourage it. His book is all about his acknowledging his anger, like, and systematically trying to cure it and overcome it and replace it with pro-social attitudes.
Yeah.
Like love and friendship and stuff like that.
I could talk all day about. I think we could go on for another hour just on anger, because I think it's one that we're both. It's interesting. We both have personal experience with it and a lot of thoughts on it as well. But